Big data, Internet of Things, cloud computing, artificial intelligence. Welcome to the Industry 4.0. Welcome to Universitas Multimedia Nusantara.
Artificial intelligence is rising and disrupting workplaces, professions, and industries. AI will not replace humans if we have capabilities beyond AI. Mastering AI becomes inevitable. YMN has committed to embed AI into learning process, while other soft competencies such as critical, creative, and innovative thinking become more essential in workplace.
At Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, new talents are nurtured. Experiences are created through ICT-based learning. Our undergraduate programs are divided into 4 faculties: Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology, Faculty of Business, Faculty of Communication Science, Faculty of Art and Design. We also expand our reach to diploma and postgraduate programs, Department of Hotel Operations, Master in Management of Technology, a synergy of management, strategy, and technology science that builds innovative and progressive digital leadership. Master of Communication focuses on strategic communication, especially on aspects such as digital communication, innovation, managerial, and technopreneurship with a global perspective, which is packaged in 2 concentrations, namely digital corporate communication and digital marketing communication. Additionally, we have developed UMN Digital Learning, or UDL, a remote digital learning system which grants students a bachelor's degree in strategic communication.
We focus on the collaboration learning to build the student character, competency, and technopreneurship. To achieve this campus has provided the facilities where students and lecturers can come in extensive discussion. We pride ourselves as a melting pot. Students actively propose and participate in the great number of various extracurriculars.
Our students come from various regions in Indonesia, different cultures, ideas, and thoughts. Each one build dynamic social environment that define Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. This diverse social environment is significant to the development of every individual.
Studying here has taught me the essence of social friendship and how welcoming everyone can be. I personally was able to experience and explore different kinds of characters of people as I made along new friends.
A learning environment should be flexible and open. Along with the purpose of energy, efficiency, and conservation, the campus implements green concept. We've been expanding the library and at the same time extending our outdoor spaces. On our campus, we make sure that every space is a learning space.
The aesthetic architectural greenery of the landscape helps students find inner peace so that they can study very comfortably. And YMN not only provides a wide range of facilities, but they also provide lots of discussion rooms where students can individually do their work or in groups.
We also have SkyStar Ventures, the only private university business incubator that achieves A accreditation from the Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education.
I believe Multimedia Nusantara has already maximized all the multimedia, all the technology. They taught in classes, they taught in organizations to just explore ourselves more. And I think it is already very good enough for the students, for the alumni to really prepare themselves for the Industry 4.0 itself.
And when it has finally come to take a great leap, our students are ready to take their collaboration further, deeper, to jump in the Industry 4.0 and make greater opportunities through our internship program. India's excellent career begins with excellent education. Big data, Internet of Things, cloud computing, artificial intelligence. Welcome to the Industry 4.0. Welcome to Universitas Multimedia Nusantara.
Artificial intelligence is rising and disrupting workplaces, professions, and industries. AI will not replace humans if we have capabilities beyond AI. Mastering AI becomes inevitable. WMN has committed to embed AI into learning process, while other soft competencies such as critical, creative, and innovative thinking become more essential in workplace.
At Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, new talents are nurtured. Experiences are created through ICT-based learning. Our undergraduate programs are divided into 4 faculties: Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology, Faculty of Business, Faculty of Communication Science, Faculty of Art and Design. We also expand our reach to diploma and postgraduate programs, Department of Hotel Operations, Master in Management of Technology, a synergy of management, strategy, and technology science that builds innovative and progressive digital leadership. Master of Communication focuses on strategy communication, especially on aspects such as digital communication, innovation, managerial, and technopreneurship with a global perspective, which is packaged in 2 concentrations, namely digital corporate communication and digital marketing communication. Additionally, we have developed UMN Digital Learning, or UDL, a remote digital learning system which grants students a bachelor's degree in strategic communication.
We focus on the collaboration learning to build the student character, competency, and technopreneurship. To achieve this campus has provided the facilities where students and lecturers can come in extensive discussion. We pride ourselves as a melting pot. Students actively propose and participate in the great number of various extracurriculars.
Our students come from various regions in Indonesia, different cultures, ideas, and thoughts. Each one build dynamic social environment that define Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. This diverse social environment is significant to the development of every individual.
Studying here has taught me the essence of social friendship and how welcoming everyone can be. I personally was able to experience and explore different kinds of characters of people as I made along new friends.
A learning environment should be flexible and open. Along with the purpose of energy, efficiency, and conservation, the campus implements green concept. We've been expanding the library and at the same time extending our outdoor spaces. On our campus, we make sure that every space is a learning space.
The aesthetic architectural greenery of the landscape helps students find inner peace so that they can study very comfortably. And WMN not only provides a wide range of facilities, but they also provide lots of discussion rooms where students can individually do their work or in groups.
We also have SkyStar Ventures, the only private university business incubator that achieves A accreditation from the Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education.
I believe Multimedia Nusantara has already maximized all the multimedia, all the technology. They taught in classes, they taught in organizations to just explore ourselves more. And I think it is already very good enough for the students, for the alumni to really prepare themselves for the Industry 4.0 itself.
And when it has finally come to take a great leap, our students are ready to take their collaboration further, deeper, to jump in the Industry 4.0 and make greater opportunities through our internship program. Because excellent career begins with excellent education.
We have two speakers with us, the other district. Share your
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me very well? It's a pleasure to join you this morning and to share with you some thoughts on your very good topic on the challenge of communication for sustainable development. I was very privileged to be part of the beginning of the conversation on sustainability after I was part of the global thought leaders that was presented in the United Nations when this idea about the Sustainable Development Goals was launched in New York in June of 2015. This particular gathering of thought leaders, 11 of us all over the world, allowed us to look at the UN SDGs with much interest, especially in our field in business management. It was officially launched in January 1, 2016 for everyone to understand it and become a mainstream, hopefully a mainstream in the learning of business management and entrepreneurship. At the time, the top concerns of the world that they were talking about is, of course, number one, climate change, and then the loss of biodiversity, water scarcity. Number 13 at the time was infectious diseases, and number 15 was discrimination and diversity. And little did we know that many years after that we were talking about the 3 Ps of people, planet, and prosperity, that we will be encountering the biggest barrier of all at the time, which was COVID-19. And so all the works pertaining to understanding the UN Sustainable Development Goals came into a halt, but not for everyone. Because even on a different kind of medium, even on online classes and discussions and conversations, the sustainable development and sustainability was still part of the things that were talked about. And so I would like to address our topic for this morning about the challenges of communication in sustainability. And one challenge is the challenge of it being complex and its nature is really different. Sustainability is multifaceted. It has a lot of technical jargons. And so there is quite difficulty in terms of understanding it. And so not everybody would really know what sustainability is all about. Some people would just think that it's all about on the area of business, on the area of accounting and governance, but there's really a lot that's happening in that one big word called sustainability. Of course, it started with a very basic lesson, a very basic discipline on ethics from Carol's pyramid. The corporate social responsibility used to be the word for sustainability. Philanthropic responsibility, ethical responsibility, legal responsibility, and economic responsibility. But later on, with the many faults of corporations, the many problems that ensues that affects people, planet, and the prosperity of companies, a deeper look was done in terms of sustainability. And so, in talking of people, it's all about what is socially equitable. In talking about planet, there was a lot of traction in the talk on environmental stewardship. And of course, in profit, the third P, it's all about economic prosperity. Okay? And if you will look at this diagram, in the middle is the word sustainable. And for it to happen, then it has to be bearable, equitable, and viable. Bearable for the people, equitable for the economy, and viable for the planet. But this is the crux of the matter, that everybody would really understand sustainability. So communication in that area of that discipline, what has to be made really practical and palatable. And so there were words like long-term, goal, resources, responsibility, market, and of course sincerity, or having that integrity to do the work. Later on, the communication aspect, how we already transferred the idea to the other to people, particularly the students, came to be community involvement, environmental action, economic growth, or what we call corporate social responsibility and sustainable development. Okay? And the list goes on. All of these jargons came about, all of these nuances on sustainability came about, governance, planet, society, and economy came up with all of these terminologies that are quite difficult, to understand for those who are beginning to enter this discipline. That's the first communication challenge. The second communication challenge is that, of course, there's a big skepticism and resistance. There's a lot of misconception about sustainability. A lot of people think it's just really about the environment and the planet. There's a lot of doubt. Of course, some of the communication tools that came up were mostly addressing, covering up the faults of the corporation, and we call that greenwashing. And because it's something new, there's a lot of resistance to that change. So that's the second communication challenge. And so on the part of business education, this is the group that takes care of making sure that everybody understands what is sustainability, and it's communicated properly, and it's being made in the mainstream of business education, like in my area. And it's called the Principles of Responsible Management Education, or PRIME. And that's an organization of management practitioners, and it's under the United Nations Global Compact. Take note that when the UN SDG was introduced, the UN Global Compact celebrated its 30th year. So that's the milestone of that particular initiative. Okay? And the communication has to center into explaining what is UN Prime and its role in sustainability education, its purpose, its values, its method, the research that happens in that arena, the partnership, and of course the dialogue. So when we try to take a look at publications and what we read on mainstream media, we will know that there are companies that are called sustainability leaders. And so we ask our questions, why they become sustainability leaders. For example, in this particular set of companies, number one is Unilever, second is Patagonia, and then you have IKEA, Microsoft, Orsted, and L'Oreal, and Tata from India. And so you'll be wondering, oh, how come Unilever is number one on sustainability? Are they not harming the environment? Are they not using a lot of plastics in their packaging and all that? But take note that when we say sustainability, it is able to address all the concerns on people, planet, and prosperity. So they were doing very well as a corporation. They have initiatives to ensure that the environment is not so much harmed in their procurement and in their distribution. And at the same time, their people are happily working with Unilever. And that goes the same with the other companies. Some of them are wearables. Some of them are ready to make or DIY furnitures. Some are software, etc. Some are cosmetics in this list. Another communication challenge is cultural, linguistic, and resource barrier. And it's also because in sustainability, different countries would have a different perspective. There is a language barrier, there's a problem with time and funding, and limited reach. Okay? If you see a post like this, and you'll see there, the top startups and scale-ups that are advancing the United Nations SDG. So what would be the top of the mind? That everybody would know what a startup is, a scale-up is. Okay? If you're not a business student, you might not be aware of all of these terminologies, and therefore, it has to be scaled down to the type of language that everyone would understand. Okay? For example, these are companies on the side, and note that these are what they are addressing as a company in the Sustainable Development Goals. So no poverty is addressed by DOT in as much as is good addresses peace, justice, and strong institutions. These 17 SDGs are created, their language, the way that they were written is quite simple, but in the way that they would apply to certain companies, the understanding of their application would be the challenge. And so, there has to be some ways by which we can communicate sustainability. For example, if you want to know what is Indonesia sustainability practices, these are easier to understand. Like 84% of Indonesians interviewed for this particular survey says that they reduce the use of single-use plastic. Or 40% of them says they are into sustainable packaging. Or 21% of them says they reduce buying of fast fashion clothing. So it's an example of how you break the barrier of communication, the differences in the literature of the country, the differences in the language and the culture, so that the idea of sustainability can be understood pretty well. And so if we will convert that on the Philippine sustainability practices, that would mean we'll also use the same language using products with natural ingredients, pretty much easy to understand, 92%. Sustainable packaging in the same way as Indonesia, 54%. And choosing sustainably produced items. In a while ago, it's all about not using fast fashion. Okay? So that is communication on addressing the diversity of culture, language barrier, the difficulty of reach, and difficulty of having funds to make sure that everybody is able to understand this particular concept. The same happens with Sweden, for example. But, the thing about comparing, for example, Philippines and Indonesia is that Sweden is really advanced. And so while we are still talking about sustainable packaging, they were already talking about lowering emissions, creating smart cities, sustainable housing, future transport, circular economy, and resource economy to bioeconomy. And that is not something quite difficult to understand, because if we're going to look at the history, Sweden was really advanced in terms of environmental protection, getting into the UN Conference on Environment, signing in the Kyoto Protocol, Stockholm Convention, etc., etc. So if we use terminologies like this, then it will be easier to understand, right, for the general public, the difference between the sustainability practices of a country like Indonesia, a country like the Philippines, and a country like Sweden, rather than just saying Sweden is the most sustainable country and Philippines is lagging behind, etc., etc. The same is with most middle income economies. Next communication challenge is about active engagement. Okay? What we do not know is really, is really daunting. So it's very important that people who know sustainability would actively engage other people in the conversation to really understand what sustainability is all about. Okay? The talk now is about transparency versus optimism. Can we really reach the goal by 2030? Now it's extended to 2035 already and to 2040. So the goal that was supposedly done by 2030 has been extended. There was so much optimism at the time, but the reality tells us a different story after COVID and all of the things that slow down our move towards achieving the 17 development goals. The same is in terms of a challenge in communication is that we might be over promising in terms of achieving the goals of sustainability. Maybe we are not disseminating enough. Okay? Maybe we're only disseminating in the student body, in universities and colleges, but what about the grassroots? Do they understand sustainability? Are we listening to our stakeholders? Because that's part of communication, is of course listening to what the stakeholders are saying about it. And of course, making sure that everyone enters into a conversation by facilitating a dialogue. And so we ask ourselves, have we really discussed sustainability? You know, words like ethic, responsibility, sustainability. Words like morality, transparency, freedom, and way of life, as much as it's about self-regulation. Second question is, how else can we expand the palatability of sustainability conversations? That's something that communication specialists can address. Okay? Coming into picture are words that perhaps are easier to understand, like creativity, persuasion, analytical reasoning, collaboration, flexible approach, or adaptability. In companies, they come up already. If you are aware of a CEO, a CIO, a COO, in terms of sustainability, there's also what we call a COLO, or a Chief Outward Looking Officer, so that it is more or less easier to understand what their roles are in sustainability in businesses. And of course, the third question, where will sustainability discussion advance to? At the end of the day, it's all about making sure that sustainability is communicated properly, done properly, and at the end, improve lives and allow us to understand inclusive organizations. That our mind, our heart, and hand go together for ethics and responsibility, and that sustainability must be communicated as something that is true for all ages. I'd like to end by giving you this analogy between our native food, sapin-sapin, and your native food, quail lapis. They look the same, they taste the same, but how we offer them will spell the difference between being challenged in communicating about sustainability and being able to reach out and make sure that the whole idea of sustainability and sustainable development goals becomes acceptable and becomes part of the mainstream. Good morning, terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Check. Terima kasih. Thank you very much, Professor Yunis. Really engaging sharing, and also some insights that we get about the kue lapis, the multi-layers cake, yeah, the multi-layers cake. Now, I want to ask Professor Jude to present us the PowerPoint, the slides, the insight, and the sharing session as well. Please, Professor Jude, the time is yours for 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll be talking about the challenge of communicating sustainable development in Bangladesh. So the first point I would like to make is that communication is central to the SDG. And that's why a lot of people in communication are quite upset with the SDG only becoming up to 17, and it omitted communication as one of the SDG goals. Because communication has been proven to be vital, and during the pandemic, humanity survived because of communication. And digitization and AI is transforming human society at a very rapid scale. So why the SDG goal was silent about communication, we people in media and communication are wondering why. Why the UN did not think about this. And that's why media scholars and organizations, we have forwarded the centrality of communication to move forward the SDGs. There are scholars here who wrote volumes in their book about why communication should be in SDG. Also, the World Association of Christian Communicators have moved this forward, so with the Global Alliance for Public Relations and Communication Management. We have been telling the UN, add SDG 18, and it should be about communication, because if there is no goal in communication, then how would the rest be achieved? And you could see the impact now. You need to extend the deadline in achieving the SDG goal. Why? Because you forgot communication. Now, I want to go now to Bangladesh. Bangladesh aspires to achieve the SDG, and a little background. We're 173.58 million people. Internet penetration is only 38.9% of the population. Connectivity speed is 34.85, which is so okay. Rural and urban, we have more people in rural areas, 59%. There are a little bit more female in our population. Our growth rate is quite good, 5.5% annually. Employment rate, 61.37, so not that good, around 40% unemployed. And the literacy rate is 74%. Okay, just a little background. Also, we are dreaming of achieving more in Bangladesh. So we have a vision for 2041, which would be calling a smart Bangladesh. I would also want to say that Bangladesh now is part of South Asia, but we are making a bid to be part of ASEAN. Bangladesh has asked Malaysia to sponsor Bangladesh membership into ASEAN, and government officials of Bangladesh have reached the Philippines, government officials, to support this bid of Bangladesh. So hopefully, in sooner or later, we will be one of the new members of ASEAN, and it will integrate us to your region. Okay, so I'll go directly to the challenges. The first challenge with regards to sustainable development, communicating about that, is the digital divide. Okay, because if there is a big digital divide and a large portion of the population don't have access to the internet, then how would you be able to express or make people knowledgeable about the SDG? Okay, so I have some stats here showing the divide. We are only 44% internet penetration. In terms of gender, male use internet more than female. Rural and urban, it's also a big divide. And of course, the download speed is also different. Okay, so that's the digital divide. And if we look at the map of Bangladesh, we would see the penetration of internet users per district. And you would see the center is Dhaka, is the highest. And even as you go farther from the center, you would see it's less. So like in Rangpur, it's only 17% compared to Dhaka's 40%. So it's really there, a big divide. So us in our university, understanding that there is a problem with the digital divide, we have put in one of our major courses, ICT for Development is one of the courses that we offer so that our students can understand the problem of the digital divide in Bangladesh. The second communication challenge is misinformation. And here is a news item showing misinformation that's thriving on YouTube. So we have 37 million YouTubers, YouTube users in Bangladesh, but we were able to find out that there are fake news channels in YouTube. 37 channels are imitating BBC. And they also imitate other channels like CNN, ABC, Reuters. So they are pretending to be a news channel and faking it and say fake things over the internet. And usually they tell fake things about politics and also religious content. So that is a big problem that we're facing because if you spread false information, then will people really understand sustainable development? Okay, so these are some statistical overviews about misinformation, how it happens, especially on YouTube. Now, we in our university, we understand that misinformation is a big problem in Bangladesh, and that is why we established around 7 years ago a Fact Watch Center. So we do fact checking. We look at the news circulated in Bangladesh, and then we try to check whether this news is false or altered or partially false, because sometimes it's half truths that's there in the wood. So very few universities offer this kind of service, but in Bangladesh we are the only one, and that's why it helps clear whether what people see on social media is real, fake, or half truth. So it's there. Next is language and inclusivity. Because in Bangladesh, yes, the overwhelming majority of people speak Bangla, which is the national language. But there are many groups of people that speak other languages, like the Chakma, Marma, and so forth and so on. Okay? And if you take a look at Bangladesh as a whole, 68% have some knowledge about English. At 68 million have some knowledge about English. So that's even less than half. And that's why if we continue to speak about SDG in English, not a lot of people will understand it in Bangladesh. And if we talk about it in Bangla, there are still groups of people who will not understand what we are saying. And this was referred to by the former speaker. And that's why in our university, to be able to help this language and inclusivity problem, we established 10 years ago the Dhaka Translation Center, and we translate many of the writings of English into Bangla. So basically, it's more of English into Bangla and the other dialects. Okay, the fourth communication challenge that we have is about freedom of expression. And if we take a look at the Press Freedom Index, the Bangladesh situation has been deteriorating over the years. So many years ago, it was 57.99 points. Now it's only 27.64. And this was reported by the Reporters Without Borders. So freedom of expression is a big problem in the country because, it's measuring the government's respect for press and media freedom, political discussion, and academic and cultural expression. So if the media is not free, then how can it explain the sustainable development goals, especially if the goals tackle about problems that the government should have solved or created by some government official? How can you explain this very well? And for this reason, what we have done at the university is we have a journalism studies program, and we have a research agenda about freedom of expression. Also, we have an outreach program which we call Access MIL. MIL means Media and Information Literacy, to make people understand media literacy. What is the role of the media? What is the media's function? Why they should trust it more than what they read in social media, which may be unauthenticated or fake news. So we do these initiatives. Now, the last communication challenge that I would like to talk about is engaging marginalized communities. And this is a problem because you need the entire country to be able to actively push forward the sustainable development goals. And if you have many communities that do not know about this because they are marginalized, they don't have digital technologies and all that, then how would the whole country move towards the SDG? So we have examples here of disadvantaged groups like migrants, women and girls, people in vulnerable locations, people with disability, elderly, LGBTI, ethnic minorities, indigenous people. Okay, so these are problems because these groups need to be, and actually these groups are the focus of many of the SDGs. So if they don't know about this thing, then how could they also help themselves? And this one shows the extent of minorities in Bangladesh. So given this problem, what our university has done is that we have a program to reach out to indigenous communities, and we try to give them the tools so that they can raise their voice. So we do this basically through community digital storytelling, and we have gone to the indigenous community in the south. We call the Munda community, and also the Shantal community, which is to the north. What's nice is that when we enable them to tell their own stories, they say it properly from their own perspective, and then this reaches to the main city of Dhaka. And once the people in Dhaka would understand the situation in their communities, then action can be taken to help them out. So these are some. So some effective strategies for communication are follows. First, we can do community-based approaches. We can, through agriculture extension systems or community-based communication systems, and then we can leverage on digital and social media. We can have media literacy and responsible communication, policy and institutional support. So just the takeaways. First, communication is central to the achievement of sustainable development. So it should be one of the SDG goals. Bangladesh aspires for sustainable development, especially in climate action, quality education, gender equality, economic growth. The major communication challenges in Bangladesh are digital divide, misinformation, language and inclusivity, freedom of expression, and engaging marginalized communities. And some of the strategies are community-based approaches, leveraging digital divide and social media, media literacy and responsible communication, and policy support. So thank you very much. This is the end of my sharing.
Thank you very much, Professor Jude. Really engaging, concise, but have deep meanings what you have shared to us for today. Now, actually, we still have 5 minutes from the allotted time in the webinar rundown. But I think we can start with the question and answers for these two distinguished speakers. Yeah, we will address Professor Yunis and Professor Judes from the sharing session. Maybe from the participants would like to ask some questions, and please be clear on whether it is addressed to Professor Jude or Professor Yunis. Please welcome from the participants. And we have also here several students, Prof. Yunis and Prof. Jude, from us, from UMN.
I would like to ask the question. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the inspiring presentation from Professor Janilo and Professor Ariola. I would like to ask some questions to you both about regarding the greenwashing. what actions have stakeholders in the Philippines and Bangladesh regarding the greenwashing, in particular in advertising and the material for the promotion? I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mas Arindra Karamoy. Yeah. Prof. Jude, I think the question is addressed to your expertise about the greenwashing in Bangladesh. Yeah? Is that correct? Philippines and Bangladesh. Okay, maybe Prof. Jude will address the question first, and then Prof.
Yeah.
Yunis.
Yeah, I think Professor Ariola talked about the greenwashing more than I did, but I'll just say I think one example of, well, we know that Bangladesh is the number 2 top exporter of garments in the world. And if you go to H&M or Zara, you would see that your clothes are made in Bangladesh. So there's really a very big, this is one of the top income earners of the country. But we know also that if you produce a lot of garments, because you color it, you use chemicals, there is a lot of pollution that takes place when you produce these garments. And of course, this actually became a very big issue in the country because at first, the producers here did not want to invest in treating these chemicals. And that's why it pollutes the rivers and all that. But, you know, in Bangladesh, the people do not complain much about it. The one who complained about it are actually the buyers of garments in Europe. Because the Europeans are very conscious about, you know, what happens to the clothes we wear. Was it produced responsibly or not? And that's why it's the buyers in Europe who started boycotting the garments in Bangladesh, especially also because even working conditions of garments workers were not good here. And in fact, when fires occur, fire safety is not, and many garments workers die because of these. So this is where greenwashing happens. To make it appear to the consumers in Europe that we are doing our best in Bangladesh, some companies greenwash. Okay, they tell half-truths and so forth and so on. But of course, we know if you tell a lie, the lifespan of the lie is very short term. It's not sustainable to tell a lie. And that's why what happened now in Bangladesh is that there is a garments association that now monitors the activities of garments factories, and then they accredit those who comply. Of course, there's still a lot of sweatshops that do not comply, but at least there's this organization that now says, okay, these people or these factories are compliant to the standards that we have set regarding environment. But of course, this is a struggle because there are still a lot of sweatshops out there. So I could not really give you a very positive reply, but at least there is an effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Janilo, for the answers, and it really helps to understand about the connection between greenwashing, telling a lie, and also the economic boycotting from Europe. Yeah. So I think it really helps explain it a lot. Thank you. Prof. Ariola, would you mind?
Yes, I agree with Prof. Jude that it's really the big brands who has the capacity to do the greenwashing. For the part of the suppliers, like the manufacturers in Bangladesh, they really have to conform to the new requirements now. Otherwise, they'll be losing their contracts because the end users are now more conscious, they scrutinize, they want to be informed. In the case of the Philippines, we have a whole new different problem here. It's all about fake news and political diversity, but not as much with the problems that are being encountered by large brands, well-known brands, European brands, and their suppliers, the pipeline of the products from a country like Bangladesh.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Ariola. So there are also large corporations being involved in this greenwashing, and this is not, sometimes they are not alone, but they also, I mean, like, collaborate with the governments and the politicians, yeah. So I think that's all also happen in Indonesia. Maybe later Ms. Maria will share the stories also from the Indonesian side. Okay, and thank you, Prof. Ariola, for the answer, and also Prof. Janilo. And we will welcome the next question, maybe from participants from UMN or from other universities, because we have quite many and diverse audiences. We have from UKSW. Oh, okay, now Ms. Fiorella Zita Nicolin. Oh, student. Okay. Wait a minute. There's a question in the chat to Prof. Yunis regarding the certain misconceptions and doubts on SDGs. What are some common misconceptions or doubts that people have about the SDGs? And
I think the most common misconception about SDGs is that it's a cure-all, because it's not. The solutions of one can be the problem of the other. So that is the problem that has to be addressed, that these SDGs, they don't operate in silos. Rather, they are connected to each other. And so the way we should approach it is that it should be integrative, and we are all connected in this solution. Because if we, for example, try to address the area on prosperity, giving jobs for all, but at the expense of the environment, then you have a problem there. So that is one misconception. And of course, the doubt. The doubt is it really doable? Is there really a way out of all of these concerns of the world? I think what we can reply to that is that a little help can go a long way. If we say it's not doable, that's a very defeatist mentality. And of course, we cannot do anything about that. We can't even progress even an inch. But if we say that I can contribute, you can contribute in our little way, our institutions can contribute, a little university and a big university contributing what they can for a common good. I think we may not be able to see the solution of it in our time, but maybe in our children and grandchildren that can happen. That is my very optimistic view about all of these ills of the world.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Ariola, for sharing your optimistic view on the question addressed by the student of UNN. Now, I think this one's from for Professor Janilo, the one about communication and social media. It says like it has kind of like negative and positive sides. How can these technological changes such as digital media and social media become condition and also a cause of concern for the SDGs?
Okay. Yes, we know that social media, it's a double-edged sword, as we know. But I think we have to understand the basic thing here is that we should first have the sword before it can be double-edged. If people do not have access to digital technologies, especially in the case of Bangladesh, where you could only see that less than half of the population have access to the internet, Uh, and uh, and of course, we know that once you have access to internet, the internet out there is a whole world on its own, with so many agendas taking place and all that. But the problem we have in Bangladesh is more basic than fighting that war there in the internet. Is to have the access itself is a problem, and you could also see that to have access. It is also based on gender, okay? Because many of the women in Bangladesh, they are not allowed by their husband to have a cell phone, or to be, and they have to ask permission from their husband to use their own cell phones, okay? And this prevalent in the rural areas, because I did a study in rural Bangladesh, trying to see how connected women are to digital technologies. And in some areas without internet, the government has put up a digital center wherein people can go there to access, if you want to know the result of your exam, or you want to apply for, to look at job openings or what have you. You have to go to that center because that's how you're going to have internet. But women are not allowed, especially married women, are not allowed to go there because the husband thinks it's a public space and it is not for his wife to go to that space. And also because the owner of that internet shop is a male, so he does not want the wife to talk to that man. So you could see many cultural barriers as well integrated into the digital divide. So for me, the basic problem really is how to make the entire population have access to this. And then, of course, the problems of misinformation, disinformation, that's another thing to be tackled.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Janilo. So there are many layers unresolved previously before digital access, such as cultural barriers, linguistic barriers, gender discrimination, etc. So I think the digital at the kind of like at the back end or at the front end of another problem, another classical problem that they have in Bangladesh. Okay, Prof. Janilo, thank you very much for your answer. And I think we still have 7 minutes, so we can be safe with one more question. Please raise your hand, or maybe you can type at the chat section. Is there any? Okay, please, Dr. Richard G. Mayopu from UKSW, Salatiga. Please, Dr. Richard. You might have want to unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear my? Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Eunice and Professor Jude. Really insightful for your lecture today. But I have some questions about our discussion today. For me, this is interesting topic, but I need your another opinion, your another insight about this. My question is like this: the rise of artificial intelligence in the world now present both opportunities and challenges. So, for communication and sustainability in the country like Bangladesh, Philippines, or maybe in like in Indonesia also. So I think the government tried to navigating the integration of artificial intelligence into their economic system, supply chain system, and maybe society's system. So the question is, how can communication and sustainability can running a line with the rise of artificial intelligence? Actually, Professor, in Indonesia also in some areas, some rural area, like in eastern Indonesia, we have a similar problem with Bangladesh or maybe with Philippines, because in Indonesia we are archipelago country. So we have a similar problem, like we have different infrastructure, especially in technology and information. So our government and our society still dealing with this problem, and we are still struggling with this problem. So I want to know about the situation in the Bangladesh and the Philippines in terms of dealing with the rise of AI and how to integrate with communication and sustainability. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mayopu, Prof. Janilo, and Prof. Ariola. The question is about the rise of artificial intelligence and how to deal with it in the rural areas in Bangladesh or maybe also in Philippines. Thank you.
Okay, should I go
Yes,
first?
please.
Okay, so in Bangladesh we have what we call Vision 2041. This is a vision to have a smart Bangladesh. The vision, if you divide into different parts, I think the most important and most relevant to the question is the smart citizen. So like by 2041, we want our population to be smart citizens. What do we mean by smart citizen? Well, these are citizens who have access to digitization and have the full skill set to be able to utilize this. So this will include artificial intelligence. So the government understands the importance of artificial intelligence in improving, of course, the economy, quality of life, and everything in between that. And also for the citizen to be able to know this. And that's why there is a very strong push in the education sector to integrate AI into the curriculum. So even if you're, whatever discipline you belong to, whether it's media, business, English, or literature, AI should be integrated there into the curriculum. Also, they're trying to move it downward to high school so that it can be integrated there. But of course, what I just want to say is that there is a problem with mindset because even the education sector, a lot of teachers are very resistant to AI because it's something they fear. Because they would say, oh, the student will just ask AI to do the assignment and they will pass, and they did not learn anything. Of course, this is indeed a big problem, but we have to work somehow around this. Okay, so yeah, so basically, what you said is right. It gives opportunities, but it also gives challenges.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Janilo, and I hope Dr. Mayopu is fine with the answer. I think it's already satisfying. And Prof. Ariola, would you mind from the Philippine side?
Yeah, before I answer that, I'd like to give a short trivia. The use of Chat GPT, the highest is India at 45%, and Indonesia is at 32%, and the Philippines is at 28%. So it's the kind of situation that you have where AI is being used already in a lot more ways. So the question there is on sustainability. Is AI creating social problem or AI solving social problem? Because AI is a tool, and just like any tool, it's supposed to make our lives more efficiently working. So if it's not working well for us, then it's a contradiction of it being a tool. AI is not the problem. The way we use AI would have to be the problem later on. But in the playbook of the playbook now of countries in development, as discussed in the UN Economic Forum in Davos, their first playbook is that there should be an investment in AI for sustainability. That's the first in their playbook in the recent World Economic Forum. Develop digital infrastructure for the exclusive use of AI for sustainability. Because a lot can be solved with the use of AI if we know how to use AI. Medicine, crop production, looking at climate so that it will not affect agriculturally dependent countries like yours and mine. So these are good ways by which we can use AI. Chat GPT is just one of them, but the real AI can be used for a good purpose. And so at the end of the day, it's really about AI accelerating the transition to net zero, climate resilient, and nature positive world.
Thank you, Prof. Ariola, for your answer. So as AI as the tools and SDGs as the goals, so AI must support the achieving of the goals. Yeah, is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Now, I think Dr. Mayopu, we have already established the answers from both speakers, and now it's already 11:11. So I think we will move to the next plenary session, the third and the fourth speaker. And Prof. Janilo and Prof. Ariola, we will still please expect you to stand until the end of our webinar, because we will have the certificate giving small ceremony at the end of the session after this plenary session too. Thank you, Prof. Janilo. Thank you, Prof. Ariola. Now I will introduce both of our third and the fourth speaker. The third speaker is Dr. Huyn Tan Loy. He is now currently serving as the head of the environmental department at Van Lang University in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And he's a prominent academic in the field of environmental science. Dr. Loy holds a PhD and is recognized for his contributions to environmental research and education. As a PhD in environmental science, Dr. Loy has a strong academic foundation which underpins his teaching and research activities. His research primarily focuses on environmental management, pollution control, and sustainable practices in Vietnam, particularly in the context of aquaculture and water resource management. Dr. Loy has also been involved in various research projects aimed at mitigating environmental issues in Vietnam, including studies on water pollution in aquaculture production. Dr. Loy also active participating in academic conferences and contributes to scholarly publication, enhancing the visibility of environmental issues in Vietnam. The fourth speaker, Ms. Maria Advenita Gita Elmada, is the Center for Sustainability Management at Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, and also lecturer in Communication for Sustainable Development. She is also an elected board member of the International Environmental Communication Association, or IACA, actively contributing to advancing environmental communication on a global scale. Her involvement in sustainability communication has led her to participate in major international environmental platforms. She served as an observer at the UNFCCC COP28 in Dubai and COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, where she was also invited to speak on several occasions. Ms. Maria shared insight on sustainable tourism, youth engagement in climate action, and the role of higher education institutions in promoting sustainable practices. Ms. Maria also played a pivotal role in fostering partnerships that promote sustainability-driven education and also for the community development. Now, please welcome Dr. Loy and Ms. Maria. Dr. Loy first, your time is 15 minutes for the sharing session. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for your introduction. So I think I will go directly to my presentation today. So this is our honor to make a presentation related to the Sustainable Development Goals in Vietnamese University. And in my presentation, I will using the Van Lang University case study to express the contribution of the university to the sustainable development. And also, I would like to say about the challenge in the sustainability how to express and also how to bring the sustainability concept to the community and to the student. So first of all, I would like to say about my personal information. Currently, I'm the lecturer in the Faculty of Environment, and I'm also the participant so many campaigns of the communication with other department in our university and also with the department of the Ho Chi Minh City as well. So based on our experience and also my point of view, I would like to show you some information and also my experience related to that campaign. When we're talking about the SDG in Vietnam, this is our dashboard and also our trend. And as you can see that, so with the SDG number 1, SDG number 2, number 3, number 7, 9, and also 17, we have the trend with the increasing, and also we can meet the target of this SDG in 2030. However, we have still some very stable, and it looks like we do not have any significant increasing in the future. Yes. So related to the Van Lai University as the educational institution. Yeah, so I would like really honor to present that we are in the THE Impact Ranking 2024 with over rank of 800 to 1000. And with the SDG number 6 in clean water and sanitation, we are in the first rank among of Vietnamese institution in 101 to 200. And this is what I'm working in aqua environment and also other research related to the clean water and sanitation. Our university strategies, the first one is we would like to increasing the physical and mental health and also reduce the social inequality. The second one that we would like to improve the quality of education, which can help other people to achieve the basic level of education and also ensuring the equal right in learning and also in research. The third strategy is about using the water and also energy efficiency. And the fourth one is responsibility in the procurement, consumption, and also we would like to move forward to the net zero emission target by 2045. And the last but not least is strengthening the governance and also the corporate in sustainable development. And so in our university, we already generate and also create a sustainability board member. With the leader is our president of Van Lai University, and she also the environmental expert. That's why she can understand very clearly about the connection between the environment, society, and also economic. With our vice head of the sustainable board is our Dean of Faculty of Environment. And also we have the strategic planner to show us how we can move forward and also how we can create the planning to achieve the sustainable goals related to THE Impact Ranking. And in this board member, we also include the external expert in the sustainability. We also include the Department of Academic Affairs. We also include the Department of Quality Assurance, Student Support Center, Admission and Communication Department, Business Relation, and also Project Management and Building Operation for our campus. So we already generate the policy for sustainability for our university with the period in 2023 to 2028. And also we also have generated the report of the sustainability in 2022 and 2023. So all of this kind of information you can achieve and also you can access our website so you can read it. And among 17 sustainable development goals, we also express so many activity to among these 17. So you can go to our report and also you can read it, and also you can explore what we have done so far. And according to our presentation today, I would like to go related to some challenge when we're talking about sustainability in the small community in our university. So far, we already have the history related to the environmental research, and from 1995, when our university was established, so we also already have the cooperation with the European university to spread the environmental education in students. And so far up to now, we have the long history with other universities. For example, CMU, Carnegie Mellon University in USA, with the look like AIT Asian Institute of Technology, with the City University of Seattle. We already established several research related to environmental problems. However, so far, we would like to expand our cooperation in South Asia and also in over the world, because we know that the strength of the gathering on of the university, we have more impact to the society. And when we're talking about the challenge, we know that university play very significant role in advancing the sustainability. However, we still have some challenge. For example, lacking of the integration into curriculum. We lacking up, we still have very difficult to change our habit, our practice, because of our mindset. We don't want to change it. We have the limited student and also the faculty engagement in the sustainable goals. And we're lacking up the insufficient student awareness, and also lack of clear and consistent message when we would like to talk about sustainability among the student and teacher. And we normally use the technical technical term for spread the news and also the communication message to the student. And we're lacking of data and metric to tracking that communication plan or communication news is effective or not. And in our university, since 2018, we already forced all the students have to take the course named Environment and Human. And in this course, what we teach is related to environmental system, problem and pollution, and how we protect the environment and the class, but not least the climate change and its impacts. However, so far, we think this kind of concept is not really suitable for the student anymore, because they would like to update the new concept related to sustainable development. So we shift it to the course named Sustainable Development, and we change on the content related to, we need to give the student about the right concept related to sustainable development. We need to give them the sustainability meaning in their major. For example, in communication, what does it mean? In economy, what does it mean? In art and design, what does it mean? And also in technology and environment and engineering, what does it mean? And finally, we need to tell them the best practice in sustainability in Vietnam and over the world, to let them know that even they do not work in environment, but they work for the service, they work for economy, they work for communication. Well, how can they contribute to the SDG in Vietnam, at least? And in our university activity, we have several activities. For example, recycling workshop. We have the open day to spread and also to educate the high school students related to the environmental protection, related to the SDG. And we also have the summer camp for the high school to come to our university to learn about the SDG concept, to let them understand that the eco assessment, eco access to the quality education in Vietnam is provided by our university. Yeah, and also we have some activity related to the environmental awareness increasing for the teacher. Is mean from the primary school to the high school. This activity we cooperate with the Department of Education and also Training in Ho Chi Minh City, which funded by the UNICEF. And this type of activity is we did every year to let the teacher understand that SDG is not the concept, but also they generate the new opportunity for the student. Yeah. And I also do the environmental awareness increasing for high school in their school, yeah, as well. However, we not only limit our activity inside of Vietnam, we give the course and also we organize the workshop and also some seminar for the student in from abroad. Yeah, and this kind of course we give for the University of Tasmania. And when they come here for 2 weeks, we teach them about the SDG practice in Vietnam. And also I have some course for the Netherlands student. Yeah, they will come here to learn about the SDG opportunity to generate the new business opportunity to how to apply the digital transformation in the SDG practice and to let them understand about the geopolitical relation to SDG. Yeah. And we have the SDG summer school that we give them for 2 to 4 weeks in Vietnam to let them understand and to engage with community in Vietnam about the SDG activity. And we also have some environmental film contest to increase the art and design student to accompany with our SDG goals. We also express some activity in our campus related to solid waste separation as source to spread and promoting the hazardous waste management from training and also from the poster. Yeah, we also have some kind of recycling station which we cooperate with the enterprise and also with the branch to generate this kind of recycling station in our campus. And this also our product from the recycling workshop when we train the student. And yeah, you can see this is our fashion design contest when we encourage the student using the old cloth, yeah, to generate the new cloth to show in their show. Yeah, and this one we organize every year so far, and we already have 5 years with this show for the fashion design student. Yeah, so back to this challenge with the university, at least with the Van Lai University, you can see that we already solved the first problem. We already changed the mindset of the student and the teacher about the traditional practice. And however, we still on the way to achieve other challenge. For example, engagement, awareness, and also how to change the communication way in terms of sustainability. And also we would like to tracking the data, how the communication can support our sustainability goals and also strategic. Yeah, so that's all of my presentation for today. According to the 2 previous presentations, actually I also teach about the CSR for the enterprise. So I really understand what you have expressed to the student and audience. And next webinar, I also can make a presentation related to CSR in Vietnam for you to let you, and then you can compare between Vietnam and other country practice about that one. Okay, so finally, thank you for your listening my presentation today. Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Loy, for really engaging, sharing. And this one's also, some of the students appear here, yeah? So this is really nice, and this is really a delight to see. Now, I think we will move to our last but not the least speaker, of course, because this is the host, Ms. Maria Advenita Gita Elmada. Please, Ms. Maria, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Pak Hendar. Okay, wait a second. Okay, so good day, everyone. Thank you so much for the invitation and for the chance for me to speak here. But first, I would also like to say thank you to Prof. Eunice, to Prof. Jude, and also to Dr. Loy, because then I'm the one that learning a lot from you, because I'm recently appointed as the Center for Sustainability Manager. So it's a new division in Universitas Multimedia Nusantara under the Vice Rector of Research, Innovation, and Sustainability. But our effort of sustainability is not new. So Universitas Multimedia Nusantara has begun a lot of initiatives, a lot of effort in catalyzing the achievement of the SDGs, and now we are trying to be more integrated and centralizing all the efforts so that it will be efficient and it can achieve the targets sooner than it's supposed to. So before talking about the communication challenge, just like the previous presentation, I would also like to try to give you an image of the condition of SDGs in Indonesia. First, Indonesia is a really unique countries. Even though when I saw the presentation of Prof. Jude, where where Bangladesh has 170 million people, we have more. We are the fourth most populous country in the world. We have 280 million people that require extensive planning regarding the SDGs, with the goals of leaving no one behind. It will be a big effort, and it has to have a lot of work together to not leave anyone behind out of those 280 million peoples that we have in Indonesia. And these 280 million people that we have in Indonesia is spread across more than 17,000 islands, because we are an archipelagic country, and they are separated, and of course they are also living in the urban and rural area, and the disparities and everything is also there. So there's a lot of condition that is going on in Indonesia that makes the achievement of the SDGs is achieving the SDGs is a little bit harder. We also have the environmental challenges, including the disaster threat that we have in Indonesia. Our friends from Philippines also facing the same thing. We have a lot of disaster threat, the hydrometeorological threat, the volcanic threat, the tectonic threats. It's all there, and it makes the achievement of the SDGs has to be really localized and contextualized to whatever the condition we have in Indonesia. Still have another problem. We have different languages. There are more than 700 languages in Indonesia, even though we have Bahasa Indonesia as one language, one national language, but still localizing SDGs, localizing the context, the concept of sustainability is still hard work for everyone. Not mentioning the different level of education, the different level of economic that we have, and the various society that we have in Indonesia. It makes the sustainability effort has to be more localized, contextualized, and so on. Plus our governance, because we have the decentralized governance, it makes another problem when the regional capabilities is not the same. So there are some cities that perform better in achieving SDGs, in practicing sustainability, but there's also another cities, another area, another region that is not that good because of all of the decentralizing that we have in our country. So based on the situation, it brings us to this performance of SDGs in Indonesia now. As of the 2024 Sustainable Development Report, we are ranked 78 out of 166 countries. So I think it's, I'm not saying it's good, but it's not bad as well. um, considering the situation of Indonesia and the unique demographic, environmental, socio-economic, and cultural condition make it make the effort of sustainability has to be more integrated, more contextualized, localized, and then it has to be coordinated between the local, the national, and then also the international level. I also have this dashboard of trends of SDGs. If we saw in in Vietnam, you have 2 greens. It means that they already achieved SDGs for that 2 goals. We don't have any greens in that dashboard. It means that we haven't had. It means that we haven't achieved any goals yet until as of 2024. We haven't achieved any goals yet, but then we still have like 5 goals that has the major challenges that remains, and then we still have 7 goals that still have significant challenge remain, and then we perform better in the goals number 1, number 4, number 12, and number 13. That's the dashboard, but the trends is also something that is actually worrying, because the trends that is increasing or on track is only the SDGs number 1 and number 4. It means that we perform better and then it's on track for achieving the 2030 goals. But then there's a lot of goals that is moderately improving, but it's not actually sufficient to achieving the goals in 2030. And also there's a lot of goals that is still stagnating and not moving anywhere. Even though we don't have goals that is decreasing, but still this trend is actually worrisome, because then we only have 5 more years left on SDGs, even though there will be another talks about this, but then it shows that achieving these goals in 2030 is something that is still not getting closer for us. So yeah, the trend is sustainability is now becoming a buzzword in Indonesia. You can hear every time the government talks about sustainability, the government talks about sustainable development, a lot of corporations talking about sustainability and sustainable development, a lot of universities also talking about this too. But why I say it's becoming a buzzword, because it's only on the discussion level, and the same problems with other countries that we have talked about. It's not really, touching the essence of the sustainability itself. Meanwhile, when we are talking about sustainability, like what the previous professors already mentioned, we are talking about the circular economy, we are talking about the social welfare, and we are talking about the environmental protection. In Indonesia itself, students around me are still thinking when we talk about sustainability, it's only about environmental protection. But, it's the most important, like what was said in the last slides of Dr. Loy. I really like that quote. But still, if we are not really paying attention to the economic and the social welfare, then we will not really able to think about protecting our environment as well. So this is the major challenge that I feel at the moment. When one of my last research talking about sustainability reporting of the corporation, the big corporation that claim themselves to be sustainable enough to have that report, and so, but a lot of them are still focusing on the business side, and not many of them really thinking about make it more transformative or regenerative to have a systemic change in the environment of industry. So, yeah, here the problem is not, it's not heard, but then the sustainability is heard, but only just to comply on the regulation that needs to have that kind of words. That's a big problem that we have here, despite another problem that also we have that is also quite the same compared to other countries that are also presented before, like the access to informations. A lot of our, because of we are spread around 17,000 islands. There are big islands, small islands. The infrastructure is not the same. The development of infrastructure is not the same. Not everyone has the same access to informations. So the understanding of sustainability is not also the same between many other places. The misinformation is also heard a lot here. People are usually simplifying the problems. For example, when there's flood, the problem is only because people littering the river. But we have actually a bigger problem. Yeah, that's a problem, but that's an immediate problem. But there's a bigger problem that lies behind that small problems that mentioned a lot in the media. The media literacy is still also a problem because, like other developing countries, we have misinformations going on, but then the other side, the literacy of the people is not really well, so they can critically assess the information that they get from the internet. And one of our problem at the moment, we really feel it, is that the distrust, the skepticism toward the government or corporate initiatives, like what is already questioned before, that we are skeptic whether it's really a sustainable development effort, or it's just really a greenwashing or whitewashing or any other washing that is exists now in the narratives discussion. And low public engagement is also a problem in Indonesia, because then, like it's also discussed before, not everybody really understand the center of the problems, or not really getting why sustainability issues matters to them. They feel like it's something that is really far away, that is not affecting them, because they still can escape with technologies, with monies, but they don't know that one day any technologies, how much money they have, will not be able to save them from the destruction of the world because of this environmental problem. And cultural and linguistic barriers also we have because of disparities and the difference. There we have a lot of cultures, religions, then they have their own discussion on this kind of thing, and sometimes it contradicts, even though it's actually in line, but because there's a lot of understanding, different understanding, sometimes they feel like it's contradict with the sustainability ideas. And also the communication effort is fragmented. A lot of people are doing the same thing, but they are not collaborating with each other because they don't think that partnership for the goals is something that really matters. Everyone has their own KPI, so everyone only want to achieve their KPI without really thinking how to integrate their KPIs with the real problem of the world and to make an integrative and collaborative effort. Sorry. So, yeah. Well, that's kind of recommendation, but I think I should skip it because then it's also been discussed before. And then I want to move to this part where it's actually what we try to do now at the UMN, and I know that our partner universities, especially here, are also doing the same thing as us. In Indonesia, we have Tridharma of higher education, which makes higher education institution have three responsibilities: first in teaching, second in research, and the third one is the community service. Every one of us has responsibility to do these three things, and I think that this framework is actually the one that makes the sustainability effort in university should be different and advanced, because now we are in the role of creating knowledge through research. Through our research, we can create a new knowledge on how integrating sustainability in our everyday life to assess the sustainability effort and issues around us, and how to teach our students regarding this kind of effort, and then touch our community through the knowledge that we have created in our university. And this is a little bit of best practice that we have done in UMN. We have achieved education and curriculum integration on SDGs because we already map our courses to the SDGs, and then using the case studies of sustainability case about in the studying process in the class. And then the research and innovation, we push our budget to enable the sustainability related project in research, and also the community service and outreach. If you can see here in the right side is one of the documentation where we really go to the society and engage them in doing this kind of thing. This is the project where we integrate research, the class project, and also the community service and outreach. So then this effort could be the whole effort of university. So it's not one by one, but we do it at the same time to make it more efficient. And also in our day-to-day operation, we are now one of the most sustainable campus in Greater Jakarta area. Last year, we ranked 128 in the world as the most green universities, because in our day-to-day operation, we do a lot of environmental efforts, environmental protection efforts in our green building, and also we are recycling water, and also not only building the infrastructure, but we also try to build our student to have the DNA of sustainability inside their heart. So it's not only last when they're in the university, but when they are going out to the industry and everything, they can bring this sustainability DNA and then make a world a little better with their effort. Okay. So yeah, I think that's the end of my presentation. Leaving no one behind is a big challenge for us, but if we are working together, I think we can achieve that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Maria, for your engaging presentation. And now we still have around 13 or 15 minutes for the second question and answer. This section is about from Vietnam best practices and also from Indonesia best practices. We have Dr. Loy and Ms. Maria to answer all the questions proposed from the participant. Please raise your hand or maybe chat, giving the question in the chat room. Thank you. We still have some students with us here, also lecturers from Surabaya, from Salatiga, and from many other provinces in Indonesia, and I believe from the name also from Malaysia maybe, and from Vietnam. I believe Dr. Loy, maybe some of your students or colleagues also attend the webinar today, and also from Prof. Yunis and Prof. Jude. Yeah. Okay, please. Is there any questions to ask, or maybe case to ponder together, and then maybe we will discuss something about the fate of our sustainability communication for today's digital age. Yeah. So I think this ones, I believe, will be enhancing our understanding about the effective and inclusive communication on the sustainability development. Okay.
So actually, if not yet have any question, actually I would like to communicate with Maria. Yeah, I'm really appreciate your presentation today. And also I saw your effort and your UMN effort about the sustainability in your university. I would like to open the open discussion related to our new opportunity in related to cooperate between two university, related to how we can spread and also enhance our activity in sustainability. If impossible, yes, student exchange or other project together related to communication sustainable. Yeah, it should be fine for both of us. Yeah, I think because of our sustainability board, they're really interesting how to cooperate with other university and spread this kind of challenge. Yeah, it's really, really wonderful. So I hope it's our first step to meet, and also we will have the further discussion related to this one. Yeah, really interesting about the sustainable campus as well. Yeah, thank you,
Thank you,
Maria.
Dr. Loy, for your generous
Okay.
offer and invitation. Ms. Maria, please address.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Loy, for the invitation as well. So yeah, I was also about to do the same thing to you, approaching you, but also because there's also another universities here, I think it will be great if we can have a collaborations on these issues, because I believe a lot of us are actually doing things on sustainable development initiatives, and for at least now with our sharing session, me and Dr. Loy can start the collaboration with the UMN and Fanlang universities, because our students will also be happy to learn not only from Indonesia context, because yeah, sometimes we are overwhelmed with whatever happened in Indonesia. We want to escape a little bit to see whatever happens to other countries, but actually the escaping things will be something that's strengthening us, because we are not alone in this. So let's collaborate together. It's an invitation for everyone of you guys here as well. So then we can have a big collaborations and to make this like more impactful to the society and the students as well. So,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you, Ms. Maria. That's a welcome hands for collaboration, Dr. Loy from Women side. And I think we have one question in the chat room, Dr. Loy, addressed to you about how Vietnam government as stakeholders support the non-government or NGOs in this matter for achievement in sustainability. This one's from Magister of Communication students, Mr.
Yes.
Margun.
Thank you so much for your question. Actually, during my presentation, I did not mention about our stakeholder in the sustainable development activity. However, I would like to quickly respond you that as a stakeholder in the sustainability, the Vietnamese government take very important role in terms of how they need to clarify the target, because as you know, the sustainable development goals, each country will be different. Yeah, and also different with the SDG of UN. That's why we need to clarify that one, and we encourage the enterprise, the business enterprise, the other stakeholder in our society to how they can achieve, and they will share that pressure on all of the people and all of the stakeholders. And furthermore, the government will be holding the funding and granting for that kind of activity. If you have the very innovative idea how to implement that kind of target, definitely you can apply as the research topic or any kind of startup or any kind of campaigns to the government. They will support you by the financial support and also other kind of labor force or etc. So that's why that will be very important. However, currently, this type of information is limited to the business stakeholder. Yeah, they do not know. However, we would like to change it into the policy and also other regulation. For example, look like all of the business in Vietnam, they need to do the first thing, that's the greenhouse gas emission inventory. So based on that one, we can do further step related to how we can engage with the zero emission, and we can achieve with the SDG number 13 about the climate action. Yeah, for example, that kind of example. Yeah, okay. I think I will stop that, my answer that question.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Loy, for your comments and answers on the question addressed by Mr. Marbun from MIKOM, yeah, Magister Ilmu Komunikasi student. And we still have 5 minutes. If there is still any question wants to ask to Ms. Maria or Dr. Loy, we will welcome your question and will be addressed very concisely because of time limit. Is there still any? If not, just
or maybe
okay.
Pak Hendar,
yes,
because there's also a lot of, I think, a lot of lecturer from other universities as well. I think if they want to share the initiatives they have done in the universities, that can be also a good. This can be a great platform for us to then know about each other's efforts. So then open more collaboration in opportunities for everyone.
Yeah. I think it will be great idea to have a kind of like consortium, yeah, later on. Maybe the initiators has already been established between Van Lang and UMN and UST College and also Dhaka University of Bangladesh. And then I think this will be a more concrete action after this. Maybe we will expand our networks, yeah, our networks, and then to address this is a very big problems, and we cannot do it alone, as Ms. Maria also mentioned already. And I think by having our exert our energy together and then focus together, maybe we will deploy one by one, or maybe clarify first, yeah, the goals, like Dr. Loy mentioned, yeah, clarify the goals and what we have necessary means, identify the problems, the problem at hand, etc. So maybe I will address for the last, because we still have 3 minutes, but I want to have a kind of like short poems, yeah, I mean enriching our discussion. Usually we have pantun and in Malaya's culture, yeah, but now I will address the communication that already started with sharing from Prof. Yunis, Prof. Jude, Dr. Loy, and Ms. Maria with these poems, very short poems. The East bright promise shadowed deep by challenges that softly creep. Philippines, Bangladesh, Vietnam shores, Indonesia's archipelago, all striving evermore. Sustainability's urgent plea demands a unified decree. Universities, industries, hand in hand, governments across the land. Communication, the bridge we built. To SDGs, our hopes fulfilled. But layers of kue lapis rise, a complex task before our eyes. So let's go and just try to manifest these SDGs in our surrounding environment. Thank you. So now, that's all from me as the moderator for this session. And now I will hand the mic to Dr. Christina Nurhayati, Ms. Kay. And thank you for all the conversations that we had. Thank you for all the sharings, and we will meet again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hendar, as our moderator today. Now we have reached the final part of our webinar. To express our appreciation to our incredible speakers, we will now proceed with the certificate of appreciation handed over by Mr. Dr. Wismi Juliardi as the Dean of VCOM UMN. So now I need help from the team to start with the certificate for Prof. Yunis Maret Q. Areola PhD. as the Dean Director for Academic as the Director for Academic Affairs and College Dean University of St. Thomas Angelicum College, Manila, Philippines, Mr. Dr. Rizmin.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kay. Thank you, Professor Dr. Yunis Areola, and then maraming salamat for the insightful presentation, and hopefully we can go more detail to engage our collaboration between UMN and UST Angelicum College. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Mr.
Terima kasih, Dean. Thank you very much.
Sama-sama.
Thank you. And the next is for Professor Jude William Janilo, the head of the Media Studies and Journalism Department, University of Liberal Arts Bangladesh.
Okay, where is the certificate?
Here it is.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Prof. Jude. Dhonyabat in Bangli language.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Terima kasih.
Yes, welcome, Prof.
Thank
Jude.
you.
Hopefully, we can meet each other, whether in Jakarta, either in Dhaka.
Thank you. The next, for Dr. Yun Tan Loy, head of the doctoral program in environmental science, Faculty of Environment, Van Lang University, Vietnam.
Thank you, Dr. Loy Hun Tan. Come on. Yeah. Thank you so much for your insightful presentation for today.
Yeah, thank you so much for today. Yes.
Yes, I have heard that discussion between Ms. Maria and you are the representative from Van Lang University. I think it's the big opportunity for us to go more detail and then to have some collaboration between our campus. Thank you so much. Come on.
Thank you. And the last but not the least, Miss Maria Advenita Gita Elmada, the Center for Sustainability Manager, Faculty of Communication Science, Universitas Multimedia Nusantara.
Thank you so much, Miss Maria Advenita, or we'll usually call her the Kak Vita. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And then congratulations as your new designation as the new Center of Sustainability in UNM, in UMN, in the university level. Yes, congratulations for your new assignment.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. But before we officially close the session, let us take a group photo together.
Yep.
Kindly turn on your camera as we capture this special moment. Okay, team. We will go to the first slide first. I will count till 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We go to the next page. Please give us the best smile you have. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we go to. Please be patient because we have thousands of pages. Okay. Now the third page. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we go to the next page. 1, 2, 3. Is it all, team? Okay, yes. As we conclude today's event, we would like to extend our gratitude to our distinguished speakers, moderator, and all participants for making this webinar a great success. But here also a feedback QR code kindly fill it for better webinar in the future. Before you leave, again, we would like to remind you about UMN CIC 2025, the Joint Conference on Communication, AI, and Sustainability. This event will be held on October 14 till 15, 2025 in Malacca, Malaysia. It will bring together experts from Conmedia, Iconsonics, and ComNews to discuss the intersection of AI, human-machine communication, and sustainability. We highly encourage all of you to participate, present your research, and network with global experts in this field. Stay tuned for updates, and we hope to see you there. With that, thank you once again, and we look forward to meeting you in our future events. Goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, thank you so much, distinguished speakers and then all participants. See you in the next international webinar.
Thank
See you.
you.